All right, we gotta talk. I am so unbelievably tired, but let me tell you why I'm tired. Let me come in here. I've got to get my little chart for you. But let's just say I am about, for the first time in, I think since 2017, I am about to have my period again. After, gosh, that's what, 8 years? Is that 8 years? I'm not good with math. It's 2025. 2017-ish was my last period. And yes, I'm getting ready to have a period again. Can you believe it? It's my little chart. It's my hormone chart. And so here's the deal. I have been on bioidentical hormones for actually since about 2014-ish, when I was still in perimenopause. And I was just doing the kind of the straight dosing where you get your blood work done and then hold on, let me sit down here. So much better. So what I was doing is bioidentical hormones where they take your blood, you go get your blood draw maybe every, anywhere from 3 months to 6 or 7 months. You get it checked because your hormones are always fluctuating, and then you look at your levels, and then your doctor will, maybe if you need to, you'll adjust your estrogen or your progesterone or your T3 or T4, depending on what your pregnenolone, depending on what your routine is, what your protocol is. Anyway, so my doctor, she said the last time, which was about 6 months ago, we had our follow-up, and she said she was doing this new protocol. And it's not quite the Wiley protocol. It's that idea of the Wiley protocol, but she says I'm rhythmic dosing. And I said, oh, well, what is that? And she said, it is where you are basically, you have a calendar and you are taking a different dose every day of the various hormones, just like the idea is that you are in the same rhythm as you were when you were still menstruating. And my first initial thought was like, ugh, that's got to be kind of a pain in the butt, because you literally, instead of just straight dosing it where you would just rub on your estrogen and your testosterone and pop a pill, your capsules for your other hormones at a static dose, this means it's going to be a lot more work. You have to kind of follow that rhythm. But I said, well, what's the upside? She said, Vanessa, because I was still complaining. I was tired. Still some body aches, some things that just still weren't, it wasn't really working for me. I wasn't getting, I got better after I started my hormone replacement back in 2015, like it was a lifesaver, ladies. But things still weren't perfect. Anyway, she said, the upside is, you will most likely, with the rhythmic dosing, which is different than that static dose, is that women start almost, within a month or two, start sleeping better. Their libido is even better if that is an issue. And she said, you'll also have a period. I'm like, I didn't have bad periods. In fact, mine were only a couple of days. Like it was never big, a big issue. But she says, because that way, what they have found is that when you have that rhythmic dosing, that actually shedding the lining every month, as if you were having, naturally when you do with your period, that is a healthier approach than just kind of, doing the hormones without having that shedding. And then she also said, also better, women are reporting like better skin, better hair, all of those benefits. And also, this was really, really cool. Like, you know what? This is long overdue. There's so much I need to share with you guys. I might have to do a part 2. There was bone density, issues that they found within the first year of people that had been on hormone replacement therapy, but that had switched from the static dosing to a rhythmic dosing. Within 1 year, their bone density tests were so vastly improved, like taking osteopenia and like completely reversing it. And I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's stop that for a second. So I said to my girl, Dr. Valerie, I said, okay. I said, let's do it. Sign me up. I mean, I'm all in. I'm like, I did the tongue tie release. I'm, in the MARPE journey, all of that, for my sleep apnea. I'm like, my health is most important to me. And so I said, okay, let's do it. And I'm going to do a part 2 because I want to share all of that, the conversation I had with the pharmacy and all of the updates and all that stuff. But let's just say, fast forward, today, after 6 months of going through all this stuff, 6 months, I am spotting. I can't believe it. And if all goes well, I'll have my first period tomorrow. Can you believe it? 55, almost 56, after not having a period for that many years. But you know what? The emotions, oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, we're going to have a part 2 because I have to unpack a whole lot more. And we'll talk about this lovely calendar. It's the hormone calendar.